Okay, in the series connection for the Q meter, we already come across the construction way. Just one more time we'll go and then going for the derivation part. Okay. In series connection is used to measure the low impedance, small resistance and small coils and also of the large capacitors. This is the construction way. Here working coil, inductor and resistance are connected and the testing coil it is going to be taken and it is going to be connected across the T1 and T2. Then a load impedance Z is connected across the low impedance. A switch is connected, that is taken as S. Then after the in series for this a RF oscillator is connected and a tuning capacitor C1 C2 is connected. Then we connected with the Q voltmeter. Okay. Then we already the components to be measured is denoted as Z. Which component you are going to measure, that is taken as Z, and it is connected in series with working coil. The construction way, the Z is connected in series with the working coil, connected across the testing terminals, that is T1 and T2. This working coil is available with the instrument itself. In the instrument only, it's the connection is there. Okay. The switch S is called as the shorting strap. The switch is called as the starting strap, means short circuit as open circuit is provided across the low impedance. Next, the two measurements are going to be carried out with this meter. The first one here it is taken as, first the low impedance is shorted, means when it is going to be shorted, when a switch is connected across this, the full connection it's going on, pressing that. Okay. When it is shorted using the switch S and the circuit is resonated to establish the reference condition. It's going to be resonated at the reference condition and then the corresponding value of the tuning capacitor C1 and the circuit Q meter Q1 are going to be noted down. The first condition is when a switch is shorted, a reactive element is going to be flowing in through the circuit. With that, we are measuring what is the tuning capacitor C1 and also what is the Q1 value. That is first condition. Next condition, the switch is kept opened or else switch is in a open position. Instead of going in the shorting, will be going to be open circuit. Okay. When it is of open, the circuit is resonated again with the help of the tuning capacitor and the value of the tuning capacitor now it is going to be taken as C2. What it is going to give the value, that is capacitor value, it is taken as C2, and what is the output you will be getting at the Q voltmeter. You have to take off that. We should note down of those things, C2 and Q2. Those are recorded. Then for reference condition, XC1 is equal to XL. That is 1 divided by omega C1 is going to be equals to the omega L. Then neglecting the resistance of measuring circuit, if I neglect that, I will be getting as Q1 is equals to omega L divided by R. That is nothing but in terms of capacitor, I can write as 1 divided by omega R into C1, substituting for this condition here. Okay. Then in the second measurement, unknown coil is in series with the working coil. Yes, it is in series. So S is going to be equal to XC2 because second capacitors we will go in for that reason. XC2 minus XL, substituting for XC2, that is 1 divided by omega C2 minus omega L. Then substituting omega L is equals to in terms of C1. So 1 divided by omega C2 minus 1 divided by omega C1. If I solve for this, Take the LCM. Xs is equals to C1 minus C2 divided by omega C1 into C2 you will be getting off. Then if C1 is greater than C2, if C1 is greater than C2, the Xs is inductive. The condition is when if C1 is greater than C2, Xs is a inductive, but when C1 is less than C2, Xs is going to be a capacitive. Therefore, the resistive component of a unknown impedance is going to be R1 is equals to X1 divided by Q1 and R2 is going to be X2 divided by Q2. Rs is going to be R2 minus R1, the difference, right? That is going to be equal to X2 minus Q2 minus X1 divided by Q1. Then writing for X2 as 1 divided by omega C2 and X1 as 1 divided by omega C1. X is nothing but 1 divided by omega C, right? Based on that. Now take the LCM and do a small simplification. Then you will be getting as Rs is equal to C1 Q1 minus C2 Q2 divided by omega C1 C2 Q1 Q2 you will be getting off. Okay, this is the equation you will be getting. Then if the unknown is purely resistive, the tuning capacitor would not have changed. Then C1 is equal to C2. Then C1 is equal to C2 means then Rs is going to be Q1 minus Q2 divided by omega C1 Q1 into Q2. If the unknown is of small inductor, then Ls is going to be equal to C1 minus C2 divided by omega square C1 into C2. Then Xs is equal to C1 minus C2 divided by omega C1 C2, that is nothing but omega Ls. Then the Q of the coil can be obtained as Qs is equals to Xs divided by Rs. Now you substitute for Xs and Rs in the circuit in the equation. So you will be getting as C1 minus C2 divided by omega C1 C2 into omega C1 C2 Q1 Q2 divided by C1 Q1 minus C2 Q2. These whole terms are going to be cancelled off. Next you will be left with Qs is equal to C1 minus C2 Q1 Q2 divided by C1 Q1 minus C2 Q2. You will be getting off. You have to remember this equation. Then if the unknown is of a large capacitor, in terms of inductors we come across and in terms of resistance we come across, then in terms of quality factor we will find. Next in terms of capacitance. Therefore Xx is going to be equal to C1 minus C2 divided by omega C1 C2, that is equal to 1 divided by omega Cs. Therefore if I solve for Cs, then I will be getting as C1 C2 divided by omega C2 minus C1, when it will be getting as a capacitor when C1 is less than C2. These are all the equations and the small derivation part about a Q meter in the series connection. In the exam, separately a series connection and parallel connection they will be asking, and it may ask for 4 marks. Okay, 4 or 6 depends on the question paper. Next, a small topic that is about sources of errors. The first source of error at the Q meter is at high frequencies. The electronic voltmeter suffers from the losses due to the transit time effect. The tank circuit consists of the resistor, inductor and a variable capacitor. But the shunt resistance RSH, in this case RSH, introduce additional resistance in the tank circuit as shown in the figure. Extra resistance, shunt resistance is also introduced along with the what the circuit we are going for. Therefore, Q meter actually what you should get, it is of omega L divided by RSH. But instead of this, you will be getting of R, instead of only R, you will be getting of RSH also. Here you will be getting, that is Q measured is equal to omega L divided by R plus RSH. This is extra. Okay. Then Q actual by divided by Q measured is going to be taken as RSH, R plus RSH divided by R. This I can write as 1 plus RSH divided by R. Therefore, Q actual is equal to Q measured 1 plus RSH divided by R. This is the equation. It will be helping when you are going to solve the problems. Okay. Then the percentage of error is going to be equal to Q actual minus Q measured divided by Q actual into 100%. This is one equation. Therefore, to reduce the error, RSH should be as small as possible. That is the one source of error. And next source of error is going to be, the most important source of error is due to the self-capacitance of the coil. This is very important. Any of the circuit, if you are going for the stray capacitance or capacitance, is it is internally it will be there. That is like a error, it is going to be introduced. But we are going to use of the material which you are going to use for the circuit design, right? You should be very careful when choosing the which material you are going for and how much the current you are going to passing through that. Those are parameters should be considered here. The same thing here also. Here it is also affecting. Then the cell capacitance is also called as distributed capacitance. Self capacitance, one more name, here it is given as distributed capacitance. Then the presence of the distributed capacitance in the coil modifies the actual value of the Q. Due to this, the value what it is actually it is needed, it will not be getting of that. Okay. The distributed capacitance is also called as stray capacitance. That's what you can write directly one point, that is due to the error stray capacitance there is the error is going to be occurring. Instead of writing all this the main, if you are telling in terms of capacitance means it is indirectly telling about the stray capacitance only. Okay. Then distributed capacitance can be calculated as, if F1 is going to be 1 divided by 2 pi square root of L C1 plus CD, then F2 is going to be taken as 1 divided by 2 pi L into C2 plus CD, then CD is equal to C1 minus 4C2 divided by 3, when F2 and F2 is equal to 2 times of F1. Then in terms of distributed capacitance, the actual Q is equal to Q observed into C plus CD divided by C. Remember these equations. And CD is going to be C1 minus 4C2 divided by 3. Okay, all the equations are very important when we are going to solve the problems. Okay. And this may ask for 4 marks. Sources of errors in the Q meter. Okay. This is about the Q meters. It is somewhat lengthy, but in the exam, in most of the question paper, only for 4 marks it is asked. Based on the how much the marks it is given, you have to write the answer. Okay. This is about the Q meter. Next, we'll go with the next topic, that is in the DVM, digital voltmeters. We already come across what are the basic construction, right? This construction we come across, and what are the performance parameters of the digital voltmeters we learned. Okay, now we'll go with the different types. Okay, the first type here it is going to be taken as ramp type DVM. In the RAM type DVM, the first principle how it is going to be working, how a measurement is going to be done, what is the internal construction, and also about the block diagram, what it is consisting, we'll learn one by one. Okay, then the first one, linear ramp technique, how it is going to be taken. The basic principle of such measurements means ramp signal. If you are going to prefer, when you are going to be measuring the voltage in terms of your, if I give a small example here, in your op amps amplifiers, what is the supply you will be going, plus or minus of 5 volts, right? Plus or minus of 12 volts you will be giving as an input. Along with the input, it is a minimum requirement for the op amp, it should work, right? What is the input, what you will be getting the output, and the feedback circuit depends on the feedback circuit. You will be designing of different integrations, additions, right? Differentiating of the op amps, we have many applications, right? Based on that we'll be going for what is the, how a signal, if you are giving the input as maybe of 10 volts, if you are giving, you know that you'll be giving as 10 volts, but is that instrument able to recognize that 10 volts as you give, or it is measuring a less value, or else it is measuring high value? What is the comparison is going to be taken in the circuit, is that what are the basic principles are there, what are the construction we can go with, what we learned in the DSD subject, which are the comparators are there, we have flip-flops, buffers, gate, pulses, right? How this all are going to be combined, so that you can check what is the input you given, what is the output you are getting from, how the measurement is going to be. Those informations are given in this DVMs. Okay, the basic principle of the measurement is based on the measurement of the time taken by the, this is the, okay, by the linear ramp to rise from a voltage, that is V, to the level of the input voltage. Actual V is there, yes, some voltage, what is the value, it is going to be increasing, or else it is going to be decreased. That's what the meaning here given. V to the level of input voltage what you are going to give, or to decrease from the level of the input voltage to the 0, whether it is to measure 5 volts, or else to the 0 volts, or else to the negative values minus 5 volts, right? Peak to peak, if I am going to measure, I go with the 4 whole. If I want only for the positive, 0 to positive values. If I want from negative, means 0 to negative, the reference is going to be taken as 0, right? Based on that principle we are going to check. This time measured with the help of the electronic time interval counter. Now whether it is 0 or it is 1 or plus 1 or it is minus 1, this counting, it's done by using of the counter, and the count is displayed in the numeric form with the help of the digital. How much the count is going for, based on that you'll be getting the output in your LCD display. That is what the digital. Here a construction, here it is given, the measurement is going to be done for the plus, here it is plus 12 volts and minus 12 volts, and reference is of 0 volts. Here at the ramp signal, observe here, at starting it will be in a constant. Next it starts of the ramp from 12 volts to it's going on decreasing. The first coincident, here it is taken as first coincident. Okay, this coincident is nothing but which one you are going to measure, maybe of 5 volts. If you are measuring 5 volts, you have to give that 5 volts. Okay, then the first coincidence means 5 volts when it is reached, when it is decreasing, when it is reached at 5 volts, maybe it is of 5 volts if I am taking, when it is reached, that is taken as the first coincident. Then when it is decreasing and reaching to the 0 value, when it is reached to the 0 value, that it is going to be considered as second coincident. Then it is going to be further decreasing. If you want to measure minus 5 volts, then you are going for a third coincident. Or else from 0 to the lower levels, means when it is coming at 0 means that have to taken as first coincident. Then the negative minus 5 volts, that as a second coincident. Okay, depends how you are going to measure the values based on the input what you are going to provide for the circuit. Then again for the positive, again a ramp signal is going to be taken, and here it is written, the dashed line is given as voltage to be measured. Next, when a ramp is decreasing, when it is reached to the first coincident, then observe here, gating time interval, till it is in the starting position, it will be in a constant way. Okay, maybe it will be 1. Then when it is reaches to the first coincident, that it will be going for the 0 value. Okay, then it will be 0, and at the second coincident it's going for the 1 value. I hope in a waveform you will be getting, this is 1 and it will be 0, again 1 it is going for. The time period what it is going to be taken from first coincident to the second coincident. Okay, it is taken as time t. Within this time period, clock pulses to the counter. Observe here, within the time period, within our first coincident to the second coincident point, our gate pulses are going to be generated. Observe here, gate pulses. How many are there? Just for the time, here it is what is given. Just we can count of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are there. Right? 5 gate pulses are going to be generated for the time period t, when it is reaching from first coincident to the second coincident of the voltage. Based on this principle, how to measure, this is we told in terms of a principle. Yes, it is going to work in, but what is the construction, what is the hardware we are going for, what all the block diagram it is consisting of. Okay, next we will learn one by one. Basically, it consists of a linear ramp which is a positive going or else a negative going. Observe here, it may be a positive going or else a negative going. Okay, I am telling in both positive or else in the negative way. The range of the ramp may be plus or minus 12 volts. For the, what we are going to explain here, it is taken as 12 volts. It may be high or it may be low. Okay, it's not fixed only for 12. Well, the base range is going to be taken as plus or minus 10 volts. Here it is taken an example of 10 volts. You can go for 8 or else, depends on company, depends on the designer which volts they are referring. They can go, if you are designing your own, you can fix any of the range which one you are going for. Okay, then the conversion from voltage to the C1. C1 is nothing but voltage, the fixed voltage to the coincident of 1 first, that is taken as C1 here. Time interval, it's shown in the figure. We explained the same thing. Then at the start of the measurement, a ramp voltage is initiated. At the start of the measurement, okay. At the start of the measurement, a ramp voltage is initiated, which is continuously compared with the input voltage. Start of the measurement, what we are going for? We are going to provide a ramp voltage is going to be initiated, which is continuously compared with the input voltage. You have to remember this, comparing with the input voltage. Next, when these two voltages are same, input voltage and ramp voltage are same, a comparator generates a pulse which opens the gate. That is, the input comparator generates the start pulse. Comparing, if both are same, your gate is open, then pulse starts generating. Okay, we got 3 steps. Then a ramp continues to decrease and finally reaches to 0 volts. It is decreasing and reaches to 0 volts here, right? Then when it reaches to 0 or ground potential, this is sensed by the second comparator, means we are going to use of the one more comparator here, or ground comparator at exactly 0, this comparator produces a stop pulse. First comparator is going to produces the start pulse and second comparator produces the stop pulse, which closes the gate. In the first way, it opens the gate, here closes the gate. Then the number of clock pulses is measured by the counter. How many clock pulses are generated? These are going to be counted by the counter. Thus, the time duration for which the gate is opened, the time duration, yes, T, at what time T a gate is open, is proportional to the input voltage. This is very important. What time a gate is open is proportional to the input voltage what we are going for. Then the time interval between the start and stop pulses, the gate remains the open and oscillator circuits drives the counter. The magnitude of the count indicates the magnitude of the input voltage, which is displayed by the display. Now we will go with the block diagram. Observe here, just what we taken in the theory part, this is same thing here it is. Here input voltage, which one we are going to measure, that is going to be given, ranging and attenuator based on the range which we are going for, okay, that is going to be provided. And here input comparator is there, comparing the input voltage. And observe here, ramp generator. Ramp generator, what's going to generating? Plus 12 to 0, then 0 to minus 12. It's going to be changing. Here sampled multivibrator, okay, are going to be introduced to the ramp generator and also to the counter. Then one more comparator, that is ground comparator, it is used. Then oscillator is used. Input comparator and ground comparator, it's connected for the gate. Then counter is there and readout or else a display unit is there. How the working is going to be? First we have to give as a, if I am going to check for 5 volts, the input what we are going for, if I give as a 5 volts, it will be measuring that ranging and attenuator, it is going to measuring. From the ramp generator, sampled multivibrator, it will be providing the range, that is of 12 volts plus or minus 12 volts, okay. If the input is of 5 volts, here input is going to be 5 volts, here you will be getting. And from the ramp generator, first it will be giving the plus 12 volts, okay. Is that 5 volts is equal to 12 volts? No, means it's not going to be working. Then a ramp generator, it's going on decreasing, it's going from plus 12 to until 5, it is going on decreasing, okay. When ramp generator is also become a plus 5 volts, it is decreasing and reaching to the first coincident, that is of 5 volts. When both are same, okay, when both are same, input comparator is going to be comparing and produces the output as 1, okay. Both are same, it's giving one signal, it may give 1 or 0, depends on design actually. Here if I think I am the designer, I can go with the 1. When both are equal, I can generate with the 1. When it is 1, start pulse is going to be giving the gate, okay. Then gate is open, it is be open. From the oscillator, pulses starts flowing from gate to the counter, okay. The continuous operation is going on. When it is equal, yes, it's going on. When a ramp generator, it's ranging, it is also going to be decreasing, okay, comparing the value, and it will be gate is always open. When a ramp generator reaches to the 0 value, when it is 0 reaches to the 0 value, observe here, it is a ground potential. When it is 0 means here is also 0, both the comparators having the same value, then it is going to be ground compares the result and giving the pulse to the gate, that is stop pulse to the gate, means it will be closing. means when it is closed, the pulses what is generated from oscillator, it is not flowing now, and the counter starts the counting value from start pulse to the stop pulse, and what is the count is there, that is going to be displayed. This displayed result is nothing but what is the input we are going to provide. Okay, the same working what we explained, the same thing it's going to be working here. Okay, this is about your ramp type DVM. The same thing again it is explained in this whole theory, you can go through once. Okay, and the last point is of the sample rate multi vibrator. This is what here, sampled rate multi vibrator determines the rate at which the measurement cycles are initiated. What is the range you are going to fix, that is going to be measured. Then the oscillation of this multi-vibrator is usually adjusted by the front panel control name rate from few cycles per second. Here it is taken as high as 1000 or else more cycles per second. Okay, it depends. Then the typical value is 5 measuring cycles per second. 5 it's going to be taken. The accuracy is of plus or minus 0.005% of the reading. Then the sample rate provides an initiating pulse to the ramp generator. Initiating pulse to the ramp generator to start the next ramp voltage. The next ramp voltage what you are going to fix, that is going to be controlled by this circuit. At the same time, the reset pulse is also generated, which resets the counter to the zero state. That's what. After counting, again it's going to be resetted to the counter values to the zero. That's also one function of this sampled rate multivibrator. Okay, this is all about the RAM type. Next, we will go with the next one, that is dual slope.